the Election Act.
Let's get more now from Tarek Radwan. He's the Associate Director for Research at the Atlantic Council's Rafik Hariri. He joins us live from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for joining us. Talk us through why you think presidential elections have now been called before parliamentary elections. Is this all about Sisi's role?
Well, it's really not surprising that presidential elections are being called first, and there are three main reasons for why that is. The first, of course, is the most obvious. It's the political, which is that coming off of the constitutional referendum just very recently, you have an overwhelming support for the state and the state line against the Muslim Brotherhood or any detractors of how the state wants to move forward. And of course, a lot of times you saw General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's picture next to these promotions for a yes vote for the Constitution. So certainly this is the best chance for the state to consolidate the public opinion in its favor to move forward and with achieving power. The second, of course, is the psychological aspect. A lot of Egyptians right now are extremely tired. They're suffering from revolution fatigue, and this desire for unity and stability is overriding any sense of energy or enthusiasm for substantial government reforms or political competition. And so they want a strong leader to help them, guide them through this process, and really, in a way, absolve them of that responsibility to battle with these contentious forces and to achieve this reform. But lastly, the technical reasons behind having such an election. Presidential elections would be far simpler than parliamentary elections at this point. You would need legal and logistical frameworks to conduct these elections, and it's highly contentious, and you have far more candidates in a parliamentary election than you do with a presidential election. With the presidential election, the existing structures are there from the constitutional referendum, and therefore it makes the entire process much simpler to handle and would keep the government on the timeline as outlined in the Constitution.
Okay, well, thank you for laying that all out for us. Very interesting. Where do you think this leaves General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi? I mean, is it something that he really wants to give up his military uniform to lead the country in the state that it is in now?
Well, this is the million-dollar question. At this point, there is much to suggest that General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will run. You see him often in civilian clothing. His charisma, his general support among the public is through the roof. However, at the same time, this would make him politically vulnerable. The problems in Egyptian society are deeply structural. There's the economic tidal wave is coming, and anyone in power will have to face the anger of the population if they don't see immediate results that improves the standard of living. So I think it's still very much a question what General Sisi will actually do.
Yeah, you'd be a brave person to touch that job. Tarek Radwan, thank you very much. Well, Al Jazeera cannot report from Cairo because our journalists have been detained. Producers Mohammed Fahmi and